Hey everybody, this is Evan Root, and today I am taking you for the second video intro to gardening to a garden store. So I'm gonna go over certain plants and teach you certain concepts that, before you start to grow anything, could be very helpful things to look back on and great insight to look back on when you're actually in the mode or the action of doing it. So I'm going to show you a few things that I think are important for every gardener to know, and I hope you like this video. So this is a Monstera deliciosa, and I'm showing you close up at its roots because I wanted to talk about cloning, and I think it's a very important part of saving money when growing plants. I'll move back so you can see the full plant. It's this plant. And how you clone it is by looking for a node. And what does a node look like? Well, let's find it. So this is kind of a node, but it's already turned into a root, as you can see. And that's pretty cool, but maybe we can find a younger node. If I can find one. I'm sure if I find another plant that's similar to the Monstera, you'll see it. I'm gonna show you a node. Let's find the nodes. Okay, well, this is a similar plant. This is kind of a node in a sense. There, that's a node. When you see that, you can snip the plant right there, and that's a node about to form, and that's another node right there. And when you cut it, you can form an entirely new plant. And that's why it's important for new gardeners to know about it, because you could save yourself a lot of money. Super cool. And I'll show you another node if I can find it. Because these have turned into roots because they're just air rooting and stuff. But here, this is a similar plant to the Monstera, and there is a brand new node popping up right there. And so if I cut it there, I can get a brand. So, as I was saying, you can get a brand new plant if you cut it right underneath the node, and you get the node into soil, and it will create roots, and it'll be super awesome, and you can multiply and clone your plants. And I'm going to show you a tomato, and you can do a very similar thing with it as well. So these tomatoes are, honestly, I think they're suckers. There's no way this was grown from seeds. This would be insane, but I don't know, maybe. Here you see there's hairs on this tomato. Each of those hairs can turn into roots. But what's even cooler about these tomatoes is that in each armpit of a tomato, it will grow a sucker. And those suckers can turn into a brand new plant. Let me find one that's more developed. I gotta show you mine. These are, they don't have as many suckers on these ones for some reason. They're probably just, oh, there's two growing out of here. Oh, there's one. There's a sucker. And so even though it's attached to this whole plant, I can rip that off and I can make a brand new plant. Maybe if you were gonna do that, let it grow a little bigger. But yeah, you can just stick this all down into some dirt and get a new tomato plant out of it, and essentially cloning this tomato. Now you may be wondering, why did I even come here to a garden shop? Well, I wanted to get some purslane because it's delicious. It's so good. Most people do not understand how delicious it is, and it's dirt cheap. You can eat the leaves and the flowers as long as there's no pesticides on it. You can just pretty much eat it, but if there is pesticides, you might want to wash it. But super delicious, super good in salads, and it's super, super healthy. It's like one of the most healthiest things ever. Most people sleep on purslane, but it's like a superfood if you actually understand it. And so this is why I'm purchasing several varieties of purslane. I got yellow, I got this striped one, this orangey one, and this super fuchsia one, and they're all edible. So this is something you could definitely grow. A lot of people think it's a weed, it's not, and if you take care of it, it blooms beautifully. So that's another thing I wanted to show you. Now I'm going to show you some coleus so you can kind of see how that root system works as well. So this is the coleus plant, and this plant is insane because like a tomato, you can root this thing very easily. Like, you see how there's like little dots there? I don't know if you can see it. There's like this little dot there. That will turn into a root. It will start to root down this whole stem here. These things are awesome. You stick them in water, it will grow roots down the whole thing, and you can create multiple plants off of just one plant if you really like the look of coleus. I'm trying to grow some from seed, but they take a little bit of a long time to get started, but once they're established, they are prolific and will grow like crazy. Yeah, and so the same thing with potato slips, which I can show you a knockoff potato. It's in the potato family, but it doesn't give you any tubers, unfortunately. But it looks very beautiful if you like that potato vine look. I'll show you right now. Hibiscus, super delicious. This looks like potato slips. It's not, but they're very pretty. They won't produce it. They're more of like for the looks. So you won't get any potatoes, but that's okay. So now that I've gotten my fig tree and purslane, and I got 2 packets of seeds, because when in Florida you can grow stuff pretty much whatever you want. So I'm not afraid of the season going away and it getting too cold or whatever. So I'm going to be growing some of these yellow peppers and cantaloupes, and we'll see how those do. Oh, sorry, not cantaloupes, honeydew. I love honeydew. It's one of my favorite melons, so I figured I would grow a bunch of it because I love honeydew. I'm not starting off by putting a seed in the ground and growing stuff, because most people, they know how to do that. Everybody knows how to do that. What I'm trying to do is get you to make that connection when you're messing with plants, and you can kind of see different things. Like, what is a node? I think it's very important. Even my fig tree will have nodes so that I could eventually, once it forms into a bigger tree, I can cut some of the branches off and make new fig trees out of those branches by cutting off at certain nodes and grafting it and rooting it. And that is not an easy process, but I think beginners should understand that, because then you can understand the anatomy of a plant better and understand. So all plants for the most part have nodes or suckers, like I showed you on the tomato. And I want people to get really acquainted with those terms, nodes and suckers, you know? And tomatoes aren't the only ones that have suckers. So that's why I was thinking that some of those were actually suckers themselves, because they're just so big, so fat. But then again, I don't know what Bonnie's doing. So, I don't get tomato plants from Bonnie. I grow them from seed myself. But I was just showing you them because I happen to be at Palmer's garden store, and I decided that I wanted to get some purslane and I didn't want to grow it myself. I do have some seeds, but it's so dirt cheap. It was like $3, you know, so it was like I got 10 of them. I don't know, maybe it's like $30 for 10 plants, and they get so big. They can take up so much space. So I thought, what a steal. And I got a variety of different colors, and I can eat them and put them in salads now rather than, you know, waiting for my seeds to germinate and grow. And while it shouldn't be that difficult, I just haven't got around to doing it because I've been focusing on other things. And so I felt like, you know what, I want purslane in my life. I want to eat it, and so that's what I'm doing. And yeah, I thought that this would be a cool video. Just come with me to the store, learn about different things, and just, you know, have a good time, relax. I just wanted to wear a dress and look pretty and, you know, do whatever. So this is my intro to gardening number 2. And while yes, we have not planted, I'm sorry, looking at plants right now. While we have not planted anything yet, I'm sure that you have learned a good amount. And so that when you actually are looking at plants, you know what you're looking at. You're not just questioning it, right? So that's why I wanted to kind of walk you through some of these things before we got our hands dirty, you know, because really getting your hands dirty is the least of the issue. It's understanding what your plant needs and things like that. You know, most of the time, for instance, you know, and I wanted to take you guys to another garden, which maybe I will, because they have a lot of different plants and they have a cool little ecosystem, and they have different microbiomes within the entire biome of that place, and I think that's really cool. That might be my next trip with you guys. But understanding like soil acidity and pH, like some plants love an alkaline soil, and other plants need things to be way more acidic than you would think, like blueberries, for instance, which is the number one reason why most people fail at blueberries. It's because the soil is not acidic enough, you know? So I think that is what I'm going to leave you for. Introduction to Gardening, episode 2. All right, it's en route, and I'm out.